One shockwave to shock them all. I never watched Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Okay, that is a lie. I have seen Lord of the Rings several times, but I don't fucking remember nothing. All I fucking remember is little people, weird dude with weird hair, what say you, and ghosts running. Anyway, hello everybody, DK Guilty here, and welcome to the very first ever Versus review. I'm not sure if this will be a running thing on this channel, but I'm doing it this time because here's what happened. I got the core class Shockwave, and I was like, how am I going to review this guy? With the Legacy Wave 1 core classes, I reviewed them all in one video, made perfect sense. I was like, am I really just gonna give this core class, tiny little core class pocket toy, its own like 20-minute long Transformers review? But then I realized something. I never reviewed the Bumblebee movie core class Shockwave, so I was like, this is perfect. I'll review both of these together, and that will make the video a lot more interesting and a lot more fun, and it won't just be, you know, one tiny review of this. And then I was like, wait, let's take it a step further. Let's pit these two against each other and decide which is the better Shockwave. And by the end of this video, I promise you, I will tell you which of these Shockwaves I prefer and that I think is better. And the outcome might not be exactly what you're expecting it to be. But without further ado, we're going to start off by reviewing the core class Bumblebee movie Shockwave, which I honestly really like. I really do like this figure a lot. I think the general consensus on this guy is that he's good, but I think a lot of people didn't really give him the attention he deserved. I really like this guy. I got him from Walmart and I opened him, and he was on my nightstand for like 4 days straight. He's a really fun little fiddle toy. I would have even said he was one of my favorite core classes a while ago before we got a few of the recent ones. But yeah, I really like him, man. So here is Bumblebee movie Shockwave. He looks good. I really like the Bumblebee movie design for Shockwave. I like the design of the head sculpt. It's very different from G1, but I'm a fan of it. I like it. It's definitely a new thing, but I like it. And I kind of like the idea of giving him that little eyebrow, the like furrowed brow that goes down. I like that idea. That's a cute touch. I like that in the Cyberverse one. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I do. I think that's a cute little touch. Maybe not on this guy. Maybe they shouldn't have done it on this guy, but the Cyberverse one, I think it's great on the Cyberverse one. I love the Cyberverse Shockwave design. But yeah, looks really good. You have his giant cannon right here. Admittedly, I do not like the design of the cannon in the movie. They definitely improved it with the toy. If you've ever looked at the freaking CGI render of Shockwave from the Bumblebee movie, the actual like look of the character in the Bumblebee movie, look at his freaking cannon. It's like the length of like a freaking screwdriver. It looks absolutely ridiculous. It was something that I found out Perspective End pointed out. I was like, oh yeah, that's fucking terrible. I know I officially don't like that design for the gun, but little thing, but they definitely improved it with the figure. I much prefer the way that it looks on this figure right here. And it's actually removable. It's actually technically an accessory, although we all know Shockwave doesn't have it, but you can remove it and he can have 2 arms, which would definitely be better for Shockwave, I bet, but not for us. We keep him with that on. And if you want to put it on the other side, you totally can. I might have actually had it on the wrong hand. Did I have it on the wrong hand? No, I had it on the right hand. Okay. So yeah. That is the only accessory you get. I guess you do get the backdrop as well, but that was thrown in the trash long ago. But, yeah, this piece is a parts-forming piece for the transformation, but not a big deal. But yeah, you have that. I like the little chest piece right there. It's very good. It's very faithful to Shockwave's design. I like it. The tolerances are fantastic, in my opinion. The ball joints are a little bit loose, but honestly, they're a lot less loose. Like the legs on this feel great. The legs have a really nice feeling to them. They're not too loose like Iguanus was out of the packaging or anything like that. The arms, yeah, the arms could stand to be a little bit tighter, but honestly, I'm not really all that fussed about it. I like the way the legs feel. I think the tolerances overall get a nice pass from me. They're pretty solid. There's not really any way to store the Shockwave gun. You can, I guess, plug it into the stand port on his butt, and it somewhat works. You can like bring this up, and then you can like plug this in to that. I don't even know why I'm showing you this. This is like the most pointless thing ever, but technically, you can kind of plug it into the stand port back there, so if you really need to store it, you can, but look at it from the front. It just doesn't look right, man. It looks like he has like a big dump truck ass or something, so yeah, we're just gonna call that no storage for that. I really like him. I think he looks really cool. I am a big fan of him personally, so yeah, that is the Bumblebee movie core class Shockwave. And now for the new Legacy Core Class Shockwave, and this guy, wow, good shit, very good shit. This guy's fantastic. I am super, super happy with this figure, man. Didn't have a ton of expectations for him. I really was happy with the Bowie movie one, but he's really good, and at the end of the video, I'll tell you which one I like more. But here we have the Legacy Shockwave. He looks fantastic. He's basically just a miniature shrunk down version of the Siege Shockwave, which I will show you in the comparisons when we get to him. Although you can't see him back there, you can kind of see they basically just shrunk down the Siege one and gave you the Legacy one, which is really cool. He has all the things he needs to. He has a little silver bit on there. Admittedly, that should have been purple, but not a huge deal. You have the eye right there. One thing about this guy, he's very hollow, extremely hollow. You got hollowness in the legs. That's for transformation, so you can't get too mad about that. And then real quick, guys, want to point something out. In my Blast review, I said that they could have made the figure better if they just didn't have him transform like this. This wouldn't have been hollow. They could have put a door on it, made it transform differently, and nobody really brought it up. And I wanted to just say the fact that nobody, like, people are saying that this figure sucks for having the hollowness in the legs there, but that's essential to the transformation, just like it is on this. But people had absolutely no issue with this, but everybody's like, oh god, Shockwave hollowness in the legs, and I'm just like, so why is Blaster okay? Why did Blaster get a pass? I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there because it was something I noticed, and I personally was like one of the few people who was not a fan of the fact that Blaster's arms were all hollowed out, but just had to throw that out there. But he looks really good. I mean, admittedly, you know, the silver paint right there looks fantastic. I actually really like the way the backpack looks. That looks awesome. The hollowness, yeah, that's bad, but the backpack looks really, really cool. And the actual Shockwave Blaster looks really, really cool. Way cooler than, I think. Honestly, I prefer the much more minimalistic. I honestly do, compared to like the Bayverse design or the Bumblebee movie design or the Prime design. I prefer the little basic one. I don't know, it just has like a nice feel to it. You know, he's a scientist. He doesn't need a massive gun weighing him down on one side. I like the much more minimalistic approach to the Blaster. I will always kind of prefer that, honestly. I'm not really sure why, but I personally do, especially over like Energon Shockwave, or Shock Blast, that was his name. His was absolutely ridiculous, man. He was overcompensating for something. Although that guy was a fucking psychopath. Does anybody remember that freaking cartoon, man? Energon was a weird cartoon. Shockwave was some kind of fucking slasher villain, man. That was a weird cartoon. But yeah, really, really, really cool figure. Admittedly, extremely kind of floppy. Although on camera, actually, I'm doing this, and he actually is not. It's not coming across on that all that well on camera. But honestly, like in hand, he really does feel pretty floppy. I guess these pieces do a good job of holding him in there when you're moving them around. But if you grab him like this, it doesn't take much to kind of just bring him down like that. I don't know, you'll probably feel what I'm talking about when you get him in hand. Admittedly though, little $10 core class figure, not something you can get too mad about, and I could probably even fix it if I really wanted to. I could probably pop the joints off the ball joints, put some super glue on it, and then let it thicken, let it hard, and then put it back on. So admittedly, if I wanted to, I could probably fix this if I wanted to, if I could be fucked to do so, which I'm not. But yeah, not because I don't like this figure, just because I don't really want to. That's all. And super glue's expensive, yo. But yeah, I really, really like him. I think he's a lot of fun. Very, very, very cool little Shockwave. Definitely not much to talk about here when we're just talking about the robot mode, but the transformation on this guy, I'll say both of their transformations, very cool, and very surprising. Like, you look at these two and you don't think they're going to do much for their transformation, but both of them do quite a good amount of stuff. So yeah, they have that. Getting into the comparisons. Oh wait, actually, no, before we get into the comparisons, I do have to show off the shitty accessory that Legacy Core Class Shockwave comes with. He comes with this. This is stupid. This is stupid. I honestly wish that they would have ditched this, put the paint and the plastic into this, maybe use that plastic to fill out these hollow pieces, the hollowness in the arms and the head right there, and then put the paint on some little accent pieces like that. Like they did with Soundwave. Look at all the good paint accents they did on Core Class Soundwave, and then you look at Shockwave and it's like, where did all the paint go? Oh, that's right. It went to this hunk of crap. This thing is literally like completely painted. You have like red all there. Oh, I guess that's pretty much it. I was like, I do kind of blow things out of, wait, hang on. Is this piece actually, I can't even tell. I can't tell if that's glued in there or if that's part of it. I actually think the entire dish is painted silver. Or I don't know. I can't tell 100%. It's really hard to tell, but I'm getting a little bit of both things. It doesn't seem like this is a separate piece. I'm not sure. But if you really, but if you want to, you can plug this thing into his hand. Admittedly, it does kind of look like his hand like turned into like some kind of clasp, which is kind of interesting. I remember the first time I saw the pictures, that's what I thought it was, and I was like, wait a second, I'm not a fan of that. I'm very happy the fact that it's just an accessory that you can take on and off. And admittedly, I also remember in one review I saw, it actually looks kind of cool in Soundwave's hand. It definitely fits his character a lot more. Maybe they'll do a freaking a Prime Universe core class Soundwave, and then you can give that to him. That might make even more sense. But yeah, you can do that. You can plug it into his back. I don't think there's into his hand. I don't think there's anywhere else you can plug it. I guess you can plug it in up here if you really want to. There we go. He can radio for help from the Nope alien. I haven't seen that movie, but I kind of want to. It looks kind of interesting. But yeah, there you go. That's the only accessory he comes with. Now for the comparisons. Righty, and for comparison, here they are, first of all, with each other, but I'm going to get Boing Movie Shockwave out of here, and we're going to bring in the other of the core class Decepticons right here. So we have our 4 main guys right there, so you can see how they look together, and they look absolutely fantastic together. You can't even argue. They look so good together, man. I certainly hope Hasbro has got more in store for us, but of course, we do also have Skywarp as well, so we'll just move them all back a little bit so we can fit Skywarp in there as well. He's trash, so, you know, I don't acknowledge him all that much, so we're probably just gonna, like, yeah, take him out of there, but hey, this is our lineup so far, and I am definitely a fan. I am definitely a fan. These figures are awesome. Although I think I'd actually go as far to say Shockwave might be my favorite of this bunch. Not of the core classes in general, at least not yet. Maybe it might become that in the future. But I definitely think it's my favorite of these guys, honestly. And just for one comparison here is the Boing Movie Shockwave with those characters as well. And now bringing in a few of the other oddball core classes that we don't really have a good spot for, a good collection or anything for right now. There you go. That here is also the Ravage as well. So there's that, and also just for one more, this isn't technically a core class, but here is the Studio Series RC, which is basically like a core class before core class was a thing. So there you have that. And since I brought it up, and I can't really think of many else to compare this guy with, here he is with the Cyberverse Deluxe Class Shockwave. Now, I gotta be honest, I know I talked about the furrowed brow thing. I don't think they did a very good job with this Deluxe Shockwave, because, like, he doesn't have it, like, at all. His head is completely normal. There's no, like, furrowed brow like he has in the Cyberverse cartoon. So I think they flooded with that. It's a good toy, but the others nailed the head sculpt so much more than this one. But I just figured I'd bring that in just so you had another comparison with the core class. And also, here's a couple of the Deluxes as well from that line as well, so there you have that. And now for the final comparison, I'm going to bring in the Siege Shockwave, which is basically what this figure is trying to be, and I'm going to go ahead and take him off of his glider. So basically what we have here is we have a shrunken down version of this design for Shockwave. You can see they really captured the Siege design. We have the same purple hues. We kind of have the same color scheme going on, the gray for the thighs. This piece is even a little bit similar with just being a little bit less extravagant, obviously. Yeah, we can clearly see what we have going on here, especially in the alt mode. I apologize it's a little bit hard to show on camera because these guys are so dark. Like the purple is just so dark. It's borderline like an indigo blue. But yeah, that is what you're looking at here. And there you have your comparisons. Now for the transformation. Like I said, both these transformations are surprisingly fun and surprisingly a lot more like, a lot more kind of maybe crazier than you might think they are just by looking at them, because they look like really solid with like no kibble. But once you see these transformations, they do some pretty cool shit. So there you go. Alrighty, for transformation, just like before, we'll do the Studio Series one first. So first thing you're going to want to do with the Studio Series is you want to bring the feet down just like so. Then you want to come up here and you want to bring them out just like this. At this point, take this piece off, bring this down, and then take it and plug it in to the back of his head. Yes, it is a parts forming piece, but I think it is pretty forgivable on such a small and cheap little figure. So just plug that into the back of his head like that. Then you're going to come to the arms here. You have a little slot right there that is just going to twist, and then you're going to put that little tab right there just like that. Same thing on this side. So you're going to get that piece, that, rub that, and do that. Bring those back just like that. And now for the coolest part of this transformation, which is why I say it does more stuff than you expect it to. This torso piece actually comes up, and then you bring this whole piece down. This comes down. This tabs in right there, and then you tab the legs into those spots right there, and then you take the entire torso piece and fold that down. That tabs in place, and then you take the arms here. You have these little tiny tabs right there that is going to kind of just slot into these little things right there. Not well, but we'll talk about that in a second and make sure all this stuff is nice and solid, just like that. And then you can rotate the turret around, and there we have the Studio Series Shockwave transports. Just gonna spoil it. This one's a lot more fun. So what you're gonna do is you're going to take this one, flip his arms around, and bring them up just like this, just like this. And the reason you want to do that is because you want to have these tabs facing like that. Then you can take the wings here. We can open these up, and technically, if you wanted to, you can totally use this like a jetpack in robot mode. So you can totally do that if you want to. But you bring that up, and then you want to take this entire piece, and this entire piece is going to fold up, which is also going to push the head down. Just like that, and then bring that down, bring that up, and that's gonna lock in place, and then you just want to slot all of these tabs into various slots in the back there, and you have that. Then you want to come down to the legs, you just want to pull these down, you have a little piece that comes out of there, rotate and fold this in, and you have a little slot that goes into a little bit right there. Same thing on this side, and those are going to tab together in the front. Super quick, super fun, and you get this. Okay, so overall, so far, the figures have been pretty equal, right? They're both very solid robot modes, very fun transformations, very intuitive, very enjoyable. With the Legacy one, maybe having a slightly more enjoyable transformation, a lot more panels kind of flipping out of places. Very, very cool. But this is going to be the first mode where there is a clear winner when it comes to this one. So we have the Bumblebee movie core class Shockwave here, and the Legacy Shockwave here. Now, admittedly, the Bumblebee movie Shockwave does not look bad in the alt mode. The Legacy one looks very, very cool. It's just a shrunken down version of the Siege of the Siege jet mode, which I'll show in the comparisons. They literally just took the Siege combined jet mode with all of the pieces, and then they just made that smaller and made it so it doesn't parts form. Now, what I'm saying when I say that one of these is clearly better than the other, it's unfortunately going to be the core class, the Bumblebee movie core class Shockwave here, because while this tank mode, in all fairness, the tank mode looks good. The problem is it doesn't really hold together very well. These pieces just do not really hold in. They do a decent job, but it's kind of like you're not really tabbing anything really into place when it comes to this figure. You have the Legacy one, which really locks together. You have all these pieces that kind of tab in, very, very nicely done, very cool. And this one, you have the little nubs on the legs there that tab in there, but these pieces, I mean, you technically, yes, they are tabbed in, but it's like the absolute tiniest little nubbin or tab ever, and it doesn't really do a great job of holding it in. And then you just have the head just hanging off the back. Not to mention the knees aren't actually tabbed in at all, the feet aren't actually tabbed in at all. It's a very shoddy alt mode, definitely. It looks good, but as soon as you start holding this thing, like look at this. If I grab this core class Shockwave, first let's do the Legacy one. If I grab this and I just kind of squeeze it, like fucking Annie from the first season of Attack on Titan with Reiner, there you go. That's what you got, that's the result there. But with him, if we Annie this one, this is our result. Yeah, you see what I'm getting at here? So I definitely think we have a winner when it comes to the alt modes overall, and the winner is definitely the Legacy in terms of the alt mode, because this is glorious. You know, little tank, little jet thing. The day I got this, I went on a walk with my family, and I took him with me, and the whole walk I was just completely entertained by this guy, talking to them about, I was just talking to my family about other stuff, and the whole time just fiddling with this guy, transforming it back and forth and back and forth. Really fun figure, man. Really fun little pocket toy. But without further ado, I'll give you some comparisons in the alt modes, and then we will move in to the final thoughts, where I will tell you which of these figures I believe is superior and the Shockwave that you should pick up. So, here are the comparisons. Comparison, here they are first of all with each other. You can see this one is a good bit bigger than that. Actually, they are actually about the same size. So they have that, moving him off to the side. Here is Soundwave, Starscream, and the Tron of Megs. So there you have the entire G1 Decepticon besides Skywarp. I'm not transferring Skywarp as well because it's the same as this thing. So there you go. That's how big Skywarp is compared to him. But there you have your G1 core class Decepticon so far. Once again, loving these figures. And for the Studio Series, here he is with the Cyberverse Deluxe class right there, since we did it in robot mode. And here he is with the Studio Series, what's that called? Soundwave. Yes, I forgot this was Soundwave because I have him stored like this in my little storage container right here. And yeah, I have him like this because he takes up less space. And look at that and tell me that that's fucking Soundwave. So yeah, there you have that. And here's the Decepticon core class as well, if that helps at all. Actually, Megatron would definitely be a nice one, so there you have that. But there you go, just in case you wanted to see some more comparisons with some core classes, there he is with the Decepticon as well. And finally, here he is with the Siege Shockwave. We're gonna pull back because he's a big boy, so there you go. There you have what our alt mode is based off. This is a mini shrunk down version of this. And you can see they did a great job in translating this. You even have you can see little things like the feet sticking out back here. Those are right there. Those are molded in right there, which is really, really cool. You have the guns a little bit, they're smaller on this. You have the command deck right there that's made out of those leg pieces right there. Very, very cool little alt mode they came up with this Shockwave right here. I'm definitely a fan. I'm definitely a fan of what they did. It's like a papa it's like a fucking baby with its papa. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, one more thing I want to show before we get back into the review is in this mode, we have a little handle back here that we can flip down just like that. And then we can bring in any robot of our choosing here. We're going to use Junkheap here because I love him. And we're just going to plug him in to his hand. And now he is a blaster. Now, I will definitely show this off again once I get Menasor, because I think that's what they are meaning for you to use this with, is with Menasor. So that will be very, very cool once we get it. And hopefully a Bruticus down the line as well. But I did want to show that this is something you can do. And I actually do think this is pretty cool. Unfortunately, though, it's not Blast Effect compatible. Missed opportunity. And if you want to, you can recreate my sister's weird Shockwave statue. And now getting into our final thoughts, and where I will tell you which of these Shockwaves is the superior. Now, I want to say very much that it was a close match between these two. Both these figures are exceptional. I really like them both. And if you can, I say pick them both up. I mean, they're $10 little core classes. I really don't think you'll regret picking up either of these figures. They are absolutely fun, very enjoyable figures. Definitely pick them both up if you can, However, if you only want one, we are going to have to give the winner to the Legacy Shockwave. I do think he beats the Studio Series Boy movie Shockwave in quite a few aspects. I like the design of the robot mode more. I like the transformation more. I like the alt mode more. Overall, I think he's a more enjoyable figure overall. And I'm not a G1er. I want to make that very clear. I like G1. I enjoy the way the G1 designs look, but I'm not a G1er. I'm a big fan of the Bayverse, as you can see right here in my Bayverse, with my Bayverse shelf. I got my Beast Wars shelf down there. I love other aspects of Transformers. I didn't even grow up with G1. I didn't see G1 till like long after I started getting into Transformers as a kid. I think I watched the Michael Bay movie before I got into G1. I do not have any kind of bias towards the G1 designs. I just find this figure a lot more fun, a lot more enjoyable. I enjoy flipping him back and forth more. I enjoy the alt mode more. Overall, I really do think that in terms of a Shockwave, the Legacy Core Class Shockwave is the superior figure. And if you're only going to get one of these, I definitely think it should be him. There you have it, everybody. As for the final grades for both of these, I am going to give the Core Class Legacy Shockwave an A. I think he is extremely enjoyable, and I guess we'll go with an A- for this. Like I said, very close match. Both of these are excellent figures, and you should definitely pick them both up and add them both to your collection. But if you're only going to get one, do go with the Legacy one for sure. But there you have it, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe give it a like, subscribe for some more Transformer reviews in the future. Next up is going to be this motherfucker, and oh, he is gonna be an interesting one. A very, very interesting one. So definitely don't miss that. But without further ado, thank you for watching, and this is the Guillotine signing out.